Hi everyone. Okay, so what I was trying to do was set myself up through Zoom, but it really wasn't working. Obviously, I couldn't hear a thing. So let me know if you can hear me and see me just while I get myself organized for a second. Just let me know. All right, welcome. And as I said, just let me know if you can hear me or see me. Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. All right. All right, perfect. Thank you guys for coming in. I've been trying to set up myself with Zoom and go live through Zoom, but the scheduling side of things didn't work very well. Um, so here I am, and welcome to day one. I'm going to be 12 days live here, most likely just on YouTube. Okay. Hey, Katie. Welcome, everybody. So I'm just getting myself together because I had to change everything that I was doing. I had it all set up on my laptop computer, but it wasn't streaming very well with the whole thing. So welcome, hello, thank you for being here. I'm just going to light some sage. Okay, so I know next time just to go live through Zoom and not try to schedule it. So it is going to be fun. So what I'm doing today, and basically most of the days, probably just going to be talking. Oh, awesome, Katie Cat. Uh, Probably just going to be talking about sort of the energy of the day, and also talk to you guys. We'll probably do some readings, etc. Coming up. I'm not sure exactly today, but I did want to talk about a few things. So I'll let you guys all come in because I know that you probably found the YouTube link, and now you had to change over to this. So thank you for coming in, and we've got some interesting energy. My poor husband was probably pulling his hair out because I'm just racing around trying to get this started in time. And the stream just looked terrible to me, so I had to stop it. I had to end it. I couldn't even hear anything. So awesome. And I couldn't see your chats either. So I'll figure all that out with Zoom, and I'll work out how to do the scheduling properly. I probably need a new computer. That's what's coming up. Yeah. Yeah, whatever's left of Bobby's hair, he probably did pull it out right now. Okay. So let me just get rid of this music as well, because I really don't like it anymore. I used to listen to it all the time. All right. So hopefully this is finding you happy and well wherever you are. And let me go into my history. All right. So all I can see in my history is all press your luck and all those funny things. Okay. Let me see. All right. So hopefully you guys are doing good.
Hi, I'm Scarlett Delatorre,
no.
and I am a sound.
Sorry, everyone. What's been happening here is I don't want to have ads coming through all of this music, so I'm just going to get rid of this. Koji bells. All right, that will work most likely. Okay. I guess that one will do. All right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're all here, and obviously coming up pretty soon we will have some things. I wrote Slipknot. We'll have some things for you guys to see for Mother's Day and for gifts. We're working out some kits and gift baskets and things like that for Mother's Day, etc. The thing was today that I was going to be talking a little bit about obviously what's going on with us energetically. Also, what I was sort of feeling today for the energy of the day, which normally you guys are pretty well in tune with as well. And then just probably doing a couple of cards and seeing what's coming up. But I'm going to be doing more cards and things on Patreon. Of course, they're getting their full, all of the star signs get their own reading for April. So we have a lot of things coming up in April. If you've looked at my schedule, you will see, and you can find the schedule by going into the community tab and also on Patreon, of course, and everywhere I try to put it. It's also on the website, BDevineonline.com. And there's a couple of courses that are now available, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this live, I will put in the comments the links. So I'm welcoming everybody who's coming in right now. This is day 1 for 12 days that I'll be live. I don't know what times I'm going to be live. Basically, I'm just going to get on here when I can. Hey, Pina. So hello to everyone that's coming in. And I hope that you will enjoy some of the messages that we're going to be bringing through. It's really important that right now that we are continuing to focus on our journey, on our focusing on our empowerment, etc. Focusing on our strengths, focusing on where we're headed, and not so much what everybody else is doing as well. I noticed that a lot of the times people can lose their way by allowing things to, take them off of course, etc. So something gets in your mind and it goes around and around, and then you feel all frustrated and you don't know which way to go, what to do, or what's going on. So the topic, I guess, for today is energy. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what they call energy bands. Some different terminologies also with regards to energy, psychic shocks, stuff that happens to your chakras, etc. And locks and all these sorts of things, because I am going to be developing a course on spiritual clearing. Hey, Eliza, be safe on the way home. Don't be watching me too much. So spiritual clearing, how you can tell when you're under some kind of spiritual pull, the energy of energy bands, of course, energy plays. You may not even know what these are. Overshadows, subpersonalities, different residents and things that can be inside your auric field, etc. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this today, and we're going to do a little bit of healing and clearing energy as well. So I know that some of you are already really in tune and you're already quite aware of your own energy, but I wanted to point out today some of the things that can happen on a psychological, emotional, or spiritual level that can happen to you. All right. Thanks, Desiree. Things that can happen to you, and you're trying to get yourself out of these thought patterns, right? And you're working on your spiritual path, and you're trying to your thought patterns, and here comes all of this energy replay. So we will probably start with that. Do a little bit of a grounding meditation, of course. And I'll just wait a little bit longer for some more people to come in. And I know this is an odd time of the day to do this. But yeah, so energy plays, programming, there's all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to get too in depth with it because you're really going to want to be here for hours and hours and hours. And I'm going to want to be there for hours and hours and hours explaining it. So I'll just get this organized here. I'll just wait a moment or two for people to start coming in. And then I'm going to talk to you about this and see if something resonates with you, okay, with what's going on with you right now. I also just wanted to show you guys these are the selenite towers that we have now, and they can go anywhere. So you can put these on a light box or whatever, and they will just glow and glow and glow and charge all of your crystals as well, anything that's around it. So these are on the website now. So they're called selenite towers. All right, they're only $15, and you'll get a free gift with them as well. So the kits are going to be there. Hi, Trista. Kits are going to be there for you guys. I can't wait to share with you some of these kits that are going to be amazing. All right. So waiting for people to just come in for just a moment. And sorry about the beginning of this show when I was trying to do it through Zoom. And it was just fighting with me the whole time. So that's okay. All right. All right, just lighting some sage. And just welcome to you people if you're new and you're coming in now. This today is different usually to all of my other videos. I do a lot of readings, etc. For you. Excellent. I do a lot of readings and things like that for you and teachings of different things. And I'm doing 12 days of different little lessons, okay? That I want to explain some certain things to you guys, because I know for a fact that some of you are going through all of this stuff that I'm going to be talking about. So I found it really important to get this out, especially for today, so I could explain it for you. Now, I just need to get my bit of paper here. All right. Okay. So, because I always have so many notes for everything, of course. And we want to talk about these energy plays, okay? These things that can happen to you. Now, you may think you're doing really amazing on your spiritual journey, and then you keep being pulled back into this old energy and stuff. So I want to talk about that. The angels for April, okay? And we'll be bringing them into our little meditation, of course. And if I can find my book, there it is. Okay. All right, so we have Mashadiel and Asmodel as our angels for the month, okay, for the month of April. And hey, G, thanks for coming in. And I hope that this is going to really, really help you guys to settle some things in your own mind and in your own life as we talk through these different circumstances that could be happening to you. And this is just a short sort of introduction to spiritual energy cleansing, clearing, and what can happen on your auric field, okay? What can happen with your auric field, etc. So, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming in. And we will start with doing a little bit of a grounding and pulling in this energy for the month of April as well. So once I start talking into the lesson, I probably won't see your comments, okay? Because I'm going to be focused on bringing the message. Okay, so I need some paper here to cover my spot. All right, right, there's that. And as I said to you, I am working very hard on a new course for teaching you guys about doing clearings, etc., and having clearings and doing them yourself and getting yourself really protected. Welcome, Dolores. Dolores, your items have shipped, okay, so you'll be getting them soon. Also about some of the things that you could be feeling around the home. So there's a property location. Sorry, guys. I had all this organized, but then I had to change my plans. Okay. And, all right. Self-clearing. All right. So it looks like we've got a few people now. So let me just see. You're welcome, Dolores. I might have to turn this light off just quickly. Okay, sometimes the lights, I'm already glowing, as you can see, and the light can make it even worse. All right, so here we go. I think that most people know that I'm live right now, and I'm sorry for the patrons who clicked on and then it was gone, and I'm here now. I don't know what time I'm going to be live every day. But I will be here for the next 12 days teaching you guys something or working on whatever energy is there for the day. So as we begin, I'm just going to bring us into connection with the angels of the month. The angels for April, Mashadiel in his green robes, and Asmodel with the pink ray of lights. Asmodel actually moves into the energy of May as well. Oh, the snow showers are moving in. Yeah. So if it gets darker, I'll turn my lights back on. Okay. So yeah, when this moves into May, it also helps us to clear out our heart space, etc. So we're going to be looking at some of the symptoms that you may be experiencing also on your spiritual journey that have nothing to do with you. So if you've been finding it particularly hard to stay motivated, or to stop yourself falling back into old habits, or from getting yourself all annoyed and worked up and going to drinking or addictions, or maybe you're on pain medications, maybe you've had nightmares most of your life, or maybe there's just something that keeps pulling you back into an old way of doing things and you're trying to get out of it and you keep being pulled back into it. These are called energy plays, and we're going to release these today. After I explain to you what can happen throughout some of your life. You got me at hard to stay motivated. That's you. Okay. So when I explain what these energy plays are, you're going to be going to yourself, oh my God, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this because I've been experiencing these things as much as I try really hard to do stuff. It doesn't seem to work for me. Okay, so, and also things about your meditation, everything. So I'm going to go through all of this. So the first thing that I want to do is actually bring in the grounding and, as you know, connect us into the earth and into the universe, and bring our cosmic team in, and also the angels for April. Okay, so as you're listening and things are resonating with you, we will also do a clearing at the end, a very quick one. Okay, great. We will do a very quick clearing at the end of all of this. Now, when you do clearings, you get flu-like symptoms. I'm going to explain that to you because that's why I'm a little bit sniffly, is all the clearings that I do when I'm working with clients. Inadvertently, I'm getting a clearing even if I didn't know I needed one. And, you do need to regularly do this with yourself and check in with yourself as well. So let's start off by bringing in all of the angels, etc. Bringing in this connection with April. And then we will start on the spiritual clearings and just get a little bit of an idea of what some things can be happening to you. After we've done that, the second round of sinus infection right now. Okay, so stay with me, Jules, because we will be doing a clearing out at the end, and it will include healing, okay? And it will get you into a place of protection, maybe like you've never really had. If you have infections and you have things coming to the surface, I always tell people this. It's not that you've done something wrong and you've got this infection. It's anger coming out. Infections are anger. Infections are festering. And so if you're getting the actual symptoms, then you've cleansed something. So what people do is they freak out. Oh, I thought I was going to get a healing. I thought I was supposed to be healed from this, and I've got all these symptoms. That just shows it's coming out. It just shows you're getting rid of it, unless you want to hang on to it. And you also have to look at, when you have sinus issues, you need to look at who is getting up your nose. And I'm seriously telling you that. Who's getting up your nose? Maybe more than one person, depending. Maybe it's, family, maybe it's work, maybe it's just frustrations. So again, when we go into the looking at the energy plays, etc., what are these energy plays? What is this? Okay, once I get you listening to this part of the video, you're going to be like, okay, I've got to know more. So it's very interesting, because you start to realize that 95% of what's happening to you may not even be anything to do with you. Okay, so we'll explain that as well. All right, so let's get started today with the little bit of connection. I know some people are at work or driving or whatever. Hold an intention of receiving the protection. If you can't sit and close your eyes, that's fine. And then we'll get to talking about some other things. Okay, so, sorry guys. All right, so I just need to get rid of this. Okay, okie dokie. So I can't see your chats right now, so I'm just going to close my eyes. All right, ready to connect in. So thank you for being here. Let's go. Take a deep breath and out. Okay, now just listen to my words. Hold an intention of receiving. You can repeat them if you like. As a sovereign being of light, I hereby claim my own sovereign energy. I hereby accept myself as a sovereign being of light. I ask for my higher self to anchor and connect with me now. I ask for the energy of the universe to anchor and connect with me now. I ask for my spiritual light team to anchor and connect with me now, surrounding me in a circle of love light. And I ask for the angels of April, Meshadiel in his green robes of healing, and Asmodel in her pink robes of light, to step forward into my energy field now. I give permission for attunements and healing on every level to occur today. And I ask to be placed in the triple protection energy of the blue, pink, and white rays of light, connecting my energy through my lower chakras into the center of the earth, and connecting through my upper chakras up into the center of the universe. Breathing in and up and out and down this pillar of pure light. I ask for sacred knowledge to open and flow to me now. I hereby release any vows or promises that I have made in past lives that would stop me from expanding my spiritual path now. I revoke this energy now. I revoke all attachments in my aura and in my chakras. Now, also ask for the cosmic physician to move forward into my energy field and allow healing to occur on the deepest of levels, allowing me to be aware of what needs to be gone from my life, allowing me to see how strong I really am, and allowing me to find the emotions that have caused the problems in the first place. I ask for the energy divas of healing to also assist us in placing a healing diva through our home, through our street, through our town, through our state, through the country, and through the world. And we give thanks to the healing angels and divas of light that assist in protection, healing, and flow of knowledge, love, light, energy. And I also ask for a psychic gatekeeper, someone who is a guide to me, that is assigned to looking after my psychic vibration. And I dismiss any old gatekeepers who have still a hold over me that no longer need to be there. I thank you. And now it's your turn to leave. And I invite the new gatekeepers of my energy field and my psychic vibration to come forward with higher protection, knowledge, and assistance, closing my psychic centers unless I give permission personally for them to open. I am protected and safe on every level. There are no obstacles in front of me. I give permission for the angels to move forward and create even more opportunities, and removing anything in my way on an inner level, on a spiritual level, on a higher level, infusing it with love, light, energy. I ask for this to be done through all layers of my entire being, through all directions of time and space. So be it, so be it, so be it. It is done. Okay, and open up your eyes. All right. So what we needed to do, I'm just going to put this back on for a second. Okay, so what, all right, so, okay, so what we're going to be doing is, as I explained, hopefully you feel grounded. Maybe you could feel the energies coming in as well. But what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a checklist to look through and just be honest with yourself about, okay? And hopefully once we've identified some of these things and cleared some of these things out, you'll have a better understanding of why things happen to you in the way that it does happen to you, why you can't get motivated, why you get sick all the time, or why things continue to happen with money or boyfriends or girlfriends or wives or husbands or whatever it is for you, children issues, whatever, okay? I'm going to ask you to be honest with yourself. Don't have to tell any of us what's going on. But being honest with yourself about these different things so that you can understand what may have happened or, could have happened to you at one point or another in your life, and then you're able to revoke that energy and get rid of it, okay? So let's go through the checklist here Now, this is not a complete checklist, all right? And, you can take things that are naturally going to help you with pain relief or help you with issues that you're going through. You can find things to block it, but you'll keep getting it back unless you figure out why it's there in the first place. Then you don't have to deal with it again, okay? So let me just get this here. All right, so when we're having, if you've had any of these things happen to you, okay, here we go. If you've had anything like this happen to you, then you'll probably find that you're getting problems going on in the same things. Okay, the same things in your life happening. Okay, so throughout our life journey, there are thought forms that we get. Okay, that restrict the free expression of your spiritual self. So, you go through all of these different kind of trials and errors in your life, okay? Physical complaints, mental complaint, all kinds of stuff happening in your life. And if you don't access the deeper reasons for them happening to you, they continue, like I was just saying. So some people have things that are from the head, like down into the neck. So all in this area, right? And this, it's like beliefs, commandments, high motivations collect in this area. And they remain even when they're outgrown. So all of these high expectations you have for yourself, or, I need to do this because if I don't, there's some kind of repercussion. It may not even exist, right? There's some kind of feeling of having to do more and more and more. And what generally happens to you, if you're feeling less than achieving, if you're feeling like you can't, continue, or you're feeling like something always goes wrong, etc., then what happens is that you are going through an energy play of pulling you back into the I'm not good enough, and you get the symptoms around the head, neck, shoulders. Now, as I'm going through the body, you're probably going to say, well, I've got all of those. Okay, so thought forms that are relating to rules. Okay, you have to do it in a certain way, etc. This is going to affect your head, neck, and shoulders. Okay, the second is the neck and the upper back and the chest. So this is connected to negative and feelings of self-worth, right? So this is all going to be talking about your self-worth, your how you see yourself, where you feel like you need improvements all the time, or where you go into self-worth, self-blame energy as well. So you go into this energy of feeling like this is not working. I've got a pain in my chest. My neck hurts. My shoulders hurt. I have to do more. I have to do more. I have to do more. And what can happen with that is that you pull yourself into this other energy of when you're saying to yourself, there's more that I need to do, then you start getting annoyed that there's more that you need to do, right? You start getting frustrated. Like, why do I always have to do it, right? Why is it always me? And you're pulled into this I'm not good enough energy, and then being annoyed about not being good enough. How dare they think that about me? Why is this always happening to me? It's like the cycle goes in that way. This is happening. Why is it happening? Frustration comes up. I'm really annoyed that this is happening. I'm annoyed that I have to do this. Why is it me? And then it's like upsetting, right? Back to square one. Because you get yourself into a feeling of vulnerability here. And when you're vulnerable, it can be scary. And scared energy can turn into anger very, very quickly as a defense mechanism. Okay? So this is if you're getting a lot of... So this is all relating to each other, really, isn't it? Then the midsection of the body. People have digestive issues, lower back problems, kidney problems, adrenal gland problems, problems with the reproductive system, problems with fat accumulating in the lower or the midsection, okay? And this is discarded thought forms. Okay. They remain in this area. All right. Hi. Sorry, I'm trying to talk. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm on a plane or something. All right. So discarded thought forms remain in this area of the body. And these ones are when you're getting those really, so when it all starts up here with the self-worth, then you push it down, just pushing it down, and then you're going into hate and anger and rage and terror. Okay, so vulnerabilities. So since this also includes the solar plexus area, there are also thought patterns that are related to helplessness. Again, if something happens in your life, right, you're going to react in one of four different ways. But you're either going to, when something happens, you're either going to fight, all right, as we know, or go into flight, run off and do something else, avoidance. And the other two sort of areas of that are trying to please and trying to fix everything, okay, going into that, or withdrawal completely, right? So the energy of this stomach area, lower back, all of this, okay, is definitely responsibilities that you feel. But also when you have a problem with these areas, it turns into feeling extremely vulnerable, extremely unable to take care of yourself, right? So when you're injured, this may also bring up this for you. If you're injured somehow, okay, you can't defend yourself when you're injured, can you? So the first thing that goes through you is fear, right? So firstly, you're like, oh my God, this is happening to me and I'm afraid and I don't know why. And the fear then turns into defensiveness or defiance, right? Feeling in that way within yourself. And then you're feeling like you're inadequate because you can't get up and do stuff that you would normally do. Then you're getting annoyed with yourself because you can't get up and do stuff that you normally do because you're going to hurt yourself again. So you get up and do it again anyway because you don't want to feel useless. You need to feel strong, right? So you get up and do all your stuff again and you hurt yourself again, all right? And then you go back into the cycle of, people and other situations that have been similar and why are things happening to you, and it goes around and around, right? So this interferes with your own personal power. You have a problem going on. These are the locations of your thought forms, the way that you think, are reacting in the different areas of your body. Okay? Sinus, all in the nose and the face. All of that has to do with people who are getting up your nose, literally. Situations that are driving you crazy. And it's all centered around here, which goes back to the beliefs of customs and cultures and all that sort of stuff. There you go, G. I knew this was going to be so interesting, so I'm like really trying to explain it as best I can. So here, when you have problems in your head, headache, all that sort of stuff, teeth problems, ears, or whatever, neck ache, pain in your neck and the top of your shoulders, it's because you feel like you have to be following some kind of rules, and that drives you nuts. Or someone's making you feel like you have to do what they say or do what they do, or you're in trouble, right? Or you feel that was always in the past for you, so you feel like that's just naturally going to happen. Okay, no matter what you do, someone's going to be miserable about it. Okay, so you see how this starts to make sense because your thought forms, settle into the different areas of your body. It goes into your chakras when they're unbalanced. It goes into your aura field when it's unbalanced, right? It goes into your psychic senses, right? It goes into, when your aura is very expansive, And things can slide in and out of your auric field as well. Oh, she's nearly got it. She's nearly out of the old habit. We better go and remind her. Okay? We better go and remind her, or she can't get well, because then she's going to be expected to do this, 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 and this. So we need to bring her back down into some kind of problem here, so that she'll go into her vulnerability, be weak again, and struggle to get your spirituality going. Right? Some people say they can't connect. There's another thing that is connected to not being able to connect to spirit, and a lot of it has to do with trust, of course, and father issues. Sad to say, if we have father issues, we don't feel protected. You know, we're not going to think that God's going to protect us either, especially if we think that God's a male, because that's what we've been taught, etc., etc. So let's go through this, all right? The lower torso and down into your hips, a lot of people have issues with that. These are basic instincts, patterns of survival, okay, that are rooted in fear and a belief that you're separate. When you have problems in this area, one thing was that you might have been sexually abused as a child, or attacked in some way, or something happened here. And so what this does is it makes you feel like you're an outcast, makes you feel that there's something wrong with you as well. So we have the lower energies, the lower parts of our bodies, and also the upper parts of our bodies that are connected to what spirit, what the universe thinks of us. Okay, so you feel like you're separate, you feel like you're somehow there's something wrong with you because this happened to you, rather than there being something wrong with the person that did it to you. Again, going into this energy of I'm not good enough, right? Or how could this happen to me? Oh, it must be because there's something wrong. What's wrong with me? Well, nothing's wrong with me. Now I'm annoyed that someone thinks there's something wrong with me, and I need to get better, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to fix this. In other words, you go into repair mode, but it's damaged. It's not, you're not seeing it clearly. You're seeing it through a warped sense of having to fix something that wasn't broken in the first place. So, and so then you're annoyed that you have to do all the work again. Okay? So this gets really interesting when you get into it all. And that's why I felt like I really needed to make some kind of course surrounding it, which I will. So problems down there, hips, also your inability to move forward because you don't know whether it's the right thing to do. So you become indecisive about your forward movements because any movement that you've made in the past, something has happened to throw you off course again. You see how this just keeps on going and going and going. But we're going to stop some of this stuff today, and I'm going to talk to you stuff about some other things that you may have gone through too. So the feet. So when you get to the feet, that's good, Pena. I knew that this would make sense to you guys, because otherwise what happens is if you keep going through your spiritual journey, always thinking that you're not quite there, okay? So you think, well, some other people, God, how did they do it? They're just all connected, this, that, and the other. I'm not quite there. Again, why am I not there? Must be something I'm doing wrong. Or the angels are going, no, I don't think we're going to give that person a message. There's also another thing that can happen with this not quite there, or not being able to meditate, or not being able to focus, or not being able to concentrate for too long. That is called an energy play or an energy band. Okay, so we will talk about that as well. The other thing that we wanted to say was about the feet area. Okay, so when accumulated thought forms, stuff that you think that you've forgotten about, okay, Okay, so maybe this is going to help you today, Jules. So, thought forms, okay? Accumulated thought form patterns located in this area represent situations in your life that cause you to feel trapped. You've got problems with your feet, right? It's not just about having itchy feet. If you have bunions, if you have feet that are or getting fungus, if you have a problem with dry skin on your heels, okay? If your ankles swell, if your legs swell, you feel trapped where you are, one way or another, or you're afraid that you're going to be trapped where you are in one way or another. And part of your cycle of survival is to be able to get out of there as soon as you can. One thing is that because of all this craziness that's going on, none of us have been able to get out of anything or go anywhere. So it's really challenged how you're feeling about yourself, your life, your situation, etc. It's really challenged you. You know, when you need to get out of a situation and you can't run, you can't use your feet, what do you go into? You go into fear. And what happens when you go into fear? You get angry. What happens when you get angry? You feel vulnerable. What happens when you feel vulnerable? You go into despair or depression because you don't know how to get out of something. You're trying your best to go around and figure it out, but you're annoyed. Nothing's helping. Nobody's helping. Doesn't seem like, it just feels like you're tossed to the side, rejected, discarded. All the thought forms go right back down into your body again. Okay? So when you get to what you have to learn to do is to understand why something makes you feel the way that it does, with an understanding and compassion that this is something that we all have to figure out, and if we don't, then we're just going to go around in circles our whole life, just going back around stupid things that we don't want, we don't need. You know, we want something higher, we want something better, but if we've been doing this thing to ourselves for a really long time, then our expectations are not that it's going to get better. Our expectations are that everything's going to fall apart again and it's up to us to fix it again. Okay? So as we go through this today, all right, understand that this is not about you having to blame yourself again for getting yourself in the situation that you're in and getting annoyed at yourself again. This is about recognizing pattern or that particular energy is something that was forced upon you. It was something that you were conditioned to believe about yourself. And it was something that for some of you was a very big part of your own survival. Okay? When we have undissolved grief and anger and sadness, when we don't recognize our grief coming up, do you know, like your grief will come up if you've lost someone, it doesn't matter how long ago it was. And you may be thinking about them a couple of weeks ago or something. And then all of a sudden you're really frustrated one day, really annoyed. And that's because you've been grieving. And then you haven't accepted that grieving. So you've just tried to continue to go on. And when you haven't been able to continue to go on, then you've become very annoyed with yourself, you know? And grief can come, yes, it can come in a number of ways, which is, you know, also can be embedded in these areas of your body. All right, so let me just go through the, sorry guys, I can't see your chat. So let me just go through another list of places where you could be vulnerable in your life. So the following situations can create a weakness in your auric fields that can magnetize the negative energies, okay? So let me just go back for a second. Okay, I'm going to have to plug my phone in real quick. I do not want this to go out while we're in the middle of this. I apologize, you probably won't be able to hear me as well. Okay, All right, I'm just making sure that I'm plugged in because of the other day when it just went completely dead. But you guys can still hear me. All right. All right, let's do this. All right, there we go. Okay, so sorry I can't see your comments right now because I'm going to get into this. All right, so we went through all the different parts of the body just very quickly. Remember, this is just quick. All right, you're going to get a bigger course on this coming up soon. But these thoughts and feelings, wherever they have collected, they need to be released, of course, right? Because the shackles of their energetic residue potentially hinder your spiritual advancement. Having all this crap there, it's not going to get you any further in your life. And you're going to be able to open up a lot of streams of spiritual energy once you recognize what's happened to you. Okay, this is things that have accumulated, but also things that have happened to you energetically that have not been your fault. Okay, we work with the angels, of course, to do a lot of clearing. Saint Germain, you know, a lot of the masters of healing, working with your spirit guides, working with your loved ones, ancestors, everybody combined to help you to get past something. Okay. We go through the different layers of the aura as well. So we're not going to do all of that today because this would be a huge course, but this is coming up soon as a course. But these particular things can create an auric weakness which magnetizes negative energy. So keep a mental list of these things. Okay, maybe write down on a piece of paper, just put a check mark or a tick when something is true for you. Okay, so if you've ever been on drugs or prescription medication, it's pretty much all of us, right? When I say drugs, I don't mean, you know, just hardcore drugs. It's prescription medication, weed, any of it, right? Anything that is a drug. You know, even some over-the-counter medicines, etc. So there's a big check. Anyone who has been a big drinker, there you go, causes a weakness. Anyone who has had an accident, okay, here we go. Anyone who has had injuries, yep. Anyone who's had surgery, yes, okay. Anyone who's had an abortion, all right, so that's your own private stuff. Anyone who's had a serious illness, okay. Anyone who's had any organ transplants, chronic stress or exhaustion, a difficult birth, any loss of consciousness, any physical abuse or sexual abuse, a visit to a cemetery or hospital, okay? Those are things that can happen physically, some of them. Anyone who's experienced a death of a loved one, abusive relationship, profound grief, depression, suicidal thoughts, long-standing anxiety, betrayal, shock treatments, past traumatic situations, psychiatric problems, loneliness, someone who's been challenged or dared by somebody else, fear, repressed emotions, loss of control, loss of money, loss of business, loss of career, loss of home, loss of purpose, loss of sleep, loss of motivation, loss of humor, loss of belief in the self, alien abduction, astral traveling, channeling, a lack of protection, spiritual inertia, just can't connect, psychic attacks, seances, intrusive dreams,
Plea for assistance, spiritual confusion, past life memories, lack of discernment, awareness of parallel lives, experimentation with psychic phenomena, near-death experience, interdimensional travel. This can all leave your aura weak and vulnerable to interferences. Annoying sounds, disturbing words, okay? I know some people that have told me over the years that voices talk to them and it's not very positive. And, you know, understanding how to put yourself into protection and grounding and only being in that place of receiving to receive messages is always key. If they keep doing it, there's something that pulls them into that energy, and we'll talk about that as well. So sensory stuff, witnessing violence, disturbing movies, distressing memories, anything like this can make you feel, you know, that there's some kind of interference. Any of these things can cause an interference. Even if you had an operation when you were like 5 years old, something could have happened to you in that operation time, in that anesthetic, all right? So these are some of the things. If you need a clearing in your life, you're going to have low energy all the time. You're going to feel fatigued all the time. You may experience mood swings. All of a sudden, mood swings are happening. You may have inner chatter going on in your minds. Okay, you may have exhibited impulsive behavior. All of a sudden, you're doing something crazy, right? You may have a sudden onset of anxiety, all of a sudden, or depression for no reason. You're just feeling it. You may have had a blow to the head, okay? You may have experienced poor concentration, just can't focus on anything. You may have been in some type of accident. Again, talking about the cemetery, hospital, nursing home, or funeral parlor. Now, these can cause weaknesses in your auric field. And you may have acquired, you know, significant negativity in your life on some other level here. And you really do need a good clearing, okay? So most of you, if you have, you know, 3 or more of these where you said yes, you need a clearing if you haven't had one recently. And, you know, there's a procedure for clearing other people. There's a procedure for clearing yourself, and there's a procedure for clearing other people and for homes and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted you to recognize these things, okay? Have a recognition of some of these things that you've been through, because they can cause, any of those things can cause an interference in your auric field, an interference in your energy centers that you're not even aware of. And it's dark, okay? These are negative influences in your auric fields. And it can come from any one of these times. That's why if you're speaking with me over the phone for services, you know, for mentoring, for spiritual therapy, I'm going to ask you about your life. I'm going to ask you about your childhood. I'm going to ask you how your relationship was with your family, your parents, etc. Because if you can get a good view at what's happened to someone in their life, you're going to be able to pinpoint the vulnerabilities. So if you can't do this for yourself, maybe you can work with your partner, and, you know, what you recognize about each other, you know, may be helpful. Because I know for myself, I used to say to myself, oh, well, it can't be that. That's not the reason why this is happening. It's not that. And it is, right? Those very things. It's because you don't want to bring it up. But there's things that happen with and that occur when we have past life memories coming forward. We have situations of trauma in our life. We think we're past things. We don't forgive ourselves for certain things. We have the accumulated thought forms that settle themselves into your physicality. So if you're thinking to yourself, okay, so this is settling into my physical being, right? All of these thought forms, etc. So if that's the case, it's settling into your energy centers and your levels of your aura, right? Which cause a double whammy, I guess you could say, of energy that is pushing towards you. Energy that's negative, that's crushing you. Sometimes you feel like there's weights on you. For some of you people, you feel like you've got this, it's like very hard to stand up straight even. It's very hard to be open, speak. It can be hard for you to express or cry or show any kind of emotion, and you suck it in, all right, until all of a sudden you explode. It's because you haven't said what you wanted to say at the beginning of the whole thing, when you were first feeling annoyed, mistreated, upset, ignored. Now, it goes, and what I'm talking about is yourself right now, but it does go into the energies of how you've been treated and how this can spark off all of these other emotions within you as well. Someone treats you like crap, what's the first thing that you're going to do? Either you're going to get really annoyed and have a go at them straight away, like how they don't talk to me like that or whatever, or you're going to go, what have I done? It must be me. I've done something to upset this person, right? Or you're going to go, oh, I'm just not going to talk to that. I'm just not going to talk to that person because there's some kind of fear about their reaction. So there comes that control thought form. Or you're like, whatever, I don't care what they say, when you really do. And then weeks later, you're running around the house getting annoyed about everything, you know, and swearing and carrying on and whatever, because that thing has annoyed you, because it's made you feel less than good enough for whatever reason. Okay, so when you have also narcissistic people around you, crazy family members, you know, exes that constantly try to get your attention or have created some kind of psychic bonding with you, or have an unhealthy obsession with you, or even friends or people that you know, or maybe you have clients that become attached to you or something, then they're going to think all kinds of things because of what they're going through or whatever. And it's going to be you because they're thinking about you. So they're thinking about you and they can't stop thinking about you, and then suddenly it's your fault, right? So all of this, it's just ridiculous, but all of this, okay, is affecting all of you on one level or another, and no one's going to help you with this. You know, in reality, when you go to a counselor or whatever, they're not going to really treat all of the spiritual symptoms that can happen. They're going to treat your physical symptoms and what you're thinking, okay, and think that they're treating that in the best way. And there are some fabulous counselors out there, so I'm not talking about everybody, but many are not going to really assess the depths of you, okay? And so some people, when they get on the phone with me, I don't think that they expect that we're going to go through all of these things. And I have to be, you know, to be giving you the best service, you know, I have to go through personal stuff with you, right? In order to so that I can hear stuff that you're saying that you don't think that is the issue. And then you can work out whether it's something that's a thought form, or that thought form is being manipulated by all of these energy plays that add extra pressure, but are easily able to, once you know what they are, you can fix it. Okay, that's the thing. And then if you keep on doing stuff and thinking in a certain way, then you're doing that to yourself. It's no longer an outside influence, making it worse for you. So if there's sudden shock, if there's drinking patterns or, hard drugs or prescribed drugs, anything that is a chemical kind of reaction in your body, or, if you've taken antidepressants before, oh, I think I need the antidepressants because I don't want to deal with anything. And it takes weeks for them to work anyway, but it's a placebo because, oh, well, I'm just going to take this antidepressant and everything's going to be fine, because it shuts off part of your brain or messes with your serotonin levels, etc. Which means for some people they get extremely angry on Lexapro, let's say, for example, or one of those. Okay, why? Because it's a suppressant. Again, a suppressant. So your depression is really suppression of your feelings. That's what it really is. Anyway, so we want to get rid of any of this debris. We want to get rid of all this stuff. So let's just go through this for a second. Some of these patterns as well. So when we talked about, let's have a look. Okay, so when we talked about accumulation of negative energies, okay, it's also that it's created from long-standing, it's like a grid work, a patterning that can happen inside of you that comes from long-standing negativity, and it feels like you're in a cage, all right? So just take note of some of the things that I'm saying. It can create blockages to your clarity, to your cash flow, to your creativity in your life, okay? So some people purposely will try to put a cage around your energy, not wanting you to succeed. It's nasty people out there. Maybe this was 100 years ago. Doesn't matter if it's still there, it's still working. The Hawaiian huna, word for energy cords is aka or aka, and or however you want to pronounce it. Again, we'll be going through, I'm actually going to take you through huna energy healing at some point as one of my courses. So it's the cord that connects us with other people. So you can't just cut cords, all right? So people are like, I'm just going to cut those cords. No, you're cutting cords. You still have these dangling pieces coming off of you like this, waiting for something else to connect to it. You have to dissolve the whole lot and repair the area, okay? So the auric weaknesses that we were talking about, holes or tears or fissures and cracks found in any layer, not just the outside layer of your aura, any layer of your aura. And they are caused by intense emotions, drugs, alcohol, anesthetic, surgery, all of this that we went over, etc. And they can also be associated with past life energies. And some people don't believe in past lives, but I'm sorry, I have done so many thousands of past life regressions with people for a long time now. And the experiences and the energy that they have, the situations that come about, the healing that comes from it, even people who are skeptical go into some kind of energy that they've had before they came here. And it's very, very instrumental at helping you heal. I know there's some people that will say, no, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. I just want to focus on this one thing. And you have to be open to all of it, to get all of it, to make sure you've gotten all of those energies as well. So the auric weaknesses, okay? So we go into also different codes, okay? And these are unique formatting, imprinted into your mental body. So we have the levels of the auric field and the mental body from past lifetimes, codes. So as soon as you get somewhere, the code will kick in and it will bring you back down again, okay? Curses, all right? Negative decrees that are spoken aloud. and they are spoken aloud. So even these curses and things are when we get annoyed with a driver, right? When we see someone driving and we get annoyed with them, la, 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 we're cursing them. We don't mean to, but we are, right? So it's anything that you say with the intention of negativity towards somebody else, whether it's actually on a real intentional level or you've just having a bad day, right? You still curse somebody, and they can curse you as well, and your whole family. There can be curse lines going back into the whole family. So don't grab onto that and say, well, that's what it is, because believe me, that's easy to get rid of. It's an accumulation of a lot of things. If something is happening to you constantly, repetitively, over and over again in your life, or you're feeling a certain way there's a big robin outside, over and over and over again in your life, it's more than just someone cursing you. Okay, it's a lot of things. There are dark angels. Now, it's a little bit of a funny sort of situation with the darker angels, etc. Because they can pose. It's more like I don't want to even say that it's dark angels. It's more like energy that is posing itself as positive. Okay, that can be anywhere. That can be with anybody. Okay, and the dark angels, or this dark, let's just call it dark energy, an accumulation of negativity, can be like a hierarchy. It can seem like it's a hierarchy. They attempt to deceive spiritual people. It's like they try to influence your spiritual path by, when you're starting to get close to something, they make you start looking at something else. And that something else may be quite, it may connect with you on some level, but there's something that you don't like about it. However, you've already looked in that direction, all right? So it tries to take you off course. And this happens unfortunately, it can happen when you're just about to heal. Say, for example, you've had a very long-standing mental health issue with some voices talking to you or something. You're so used to that being the case and living in that way that when you get relief from it, you'll get scared. And this is when a dark energy will come forward and make you look in a different direction, or take you away from the very person that was helping you to get well. And you start turning on them. Okay, so if you've suddenly turned on someone who really hasn't done anything to you, all of a sudden, if you've suddenly turned that way, unfortunately, you could have had a dark energy, trying to steer you away from getting to healing, or getting to light, or getting to the best direction for you, right? And they can come, and it seems like some of it resonates with you when you hear it, when it's a negative thing. But if you suddenly start turning on somebody, or a group, or someone that you listen to, or whatever it is for you, person or a friend, if you suddenly turn on them with no real reason other than you're convinced that they're turning on you or something, you really need to look at that and get rid of that, because you may have been under the influence of someone that was or a negative energy that was posing as a spiritual guide or something, pulling you out of a situation that was really there to benefit you. And maybe this has already happened and you've recovered from it and you've come back. All right. So if you're doing your protection correctly, which is why I'm always telling you guys to make sure you're grounded, protected in that place of receiving, because there's nothing that can interfere with that energy if you're doing that. But if in the past you weren't doing this, right, this is when problems occur. Okay, and they keep on recurring because on some level you've allowed that energy in. There's also demonic presences, right? So I don't like using the word demonic, but rather, again, a accumulation of a lot of people's negative energy can create into an energy that some say are demonic. Now, this is a very low vibration. It's just thriving on pain and suffering, okay? Definitely pain and suffering. They interfere with love relationships in particular. So they can also induce self-destruction because it starts to undermine your self-esteem. So listen to that for a second. If there is something inside of you, all of a sudden you're turning on people. All of a sudden you're angry. All of a sudden you don't want to be with your partner anymore and they haven't done anything wrong. All of a sudden you're accusing somebody of something or whatever. You may have been under the influence of some very low vibrational energies. And where has that come in from? It's not something to blame yourself for, once again. It could just be at a time when your thought forms and the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling have lowered. If you're out on a bender, drinking for days on end, you know, there's going to be a weakness that occurs. If you're on medications, if you're on drugs of any kind, and not protected, of course, you know, if you're on, you know, had surgery or you haven't even thought about these things as creating a vulnerable weakness in your auric field, if you've been abused in any way, if you've witnessed violence, if you've been in a house that's got negative energy in it, you just walk in and you're like, oh my God. If you've ever rented a home, you know, if you've ever, you know, there's just so many things that can cause those weaknesses. And these are things for you to look out for if you're suddenly feeling these ways, okay? So if you're suddenly feeling self-destructive or destroying your relationships with people for no reason, okay, then this is an alarm for you. This is an alarm. You really need to do some good clearing. And again, if you don't know how to do these things and you want help and assistance, that's what I'm there for. Now, discarnate souls, of course, and these are the presences of deceased individuals, and they can remain a little bit earthbound after death, and it's their own free will to do so. They can also retain a lot of their previous fears, worries, concerns, emotions, interests, and attitudes. And sometimes their physical, often their physical body imprints are overlaid over a host's body. So what can happen there is when people are right open to these things all the time, they're not protecting themselves properly. They get to just start playing around with a Ouija board or something. There can be like a discarnate soul that can just step sort of inside the energy field of anybody if you're not protected properly. And suddenly you start feeling these things that are abnormal all of a sudden. Now, I've seen this happen to many people in the past, and, you know, they've taken medication for it. Some people have been, you know, seeing long-term psychiatrists, etc., because they have thoughts and feelings and even visions that don't seem to be something that they can control. And of course, they become fearful. When they become fearful, it gets worse, all right? Because this kind of energy thrives on fear. Again, I want to stress to you all, everything that I'm saying to you is easily fixed as well. This is not something you have to live with and go, well, I can't get out of it. That's just how it is. Please understand that all the things I'm explaining to you are there to illustrate where the weaknesses occur to your aura, not to you as a person, that make you feel like you're a weak person, or make you feel annoyed or upset or stressed or depressed or anxious, all these things. On top of the energy that you may have felt your whole life, being born into your soul purpose and being born into this soul life for having some things that you need to fix. So here, discarnate souls. Okay, usually those are around parties, low vibration stuff, old houses, even when you first move into a place, you should make sure you're protecting it as you're going in before you even get there, so that nothing can latch onto you or field. Or if people coming into your house, make sure that you're placing some kind of protection above your doorway. I just imagine that there's a pyramid of white light right in the doorway, the doorways of the whole house, so that whenever anybody walks through them, they're cleansed and cleared as they go through. Nothing can be left. Electromagnetic interference can happen as well. Any type of vibration barrier that, from your phones, from all electricity, everything, can work on the equilibrium of the electromagnetic energy in your body and start zapping you out. Anything that's causing you to feel drained, remember, creates a vibration in you of weakness. When you get into the weakness pattern, away you go. Emotions, of course, we've already been through those things. Encased life energies is another one. So the encased life energies is an encasement that protects you from any type of strong emotional feeling or state. It's an entrapment. It can cause fatigue and depression. So something that you placed around yourself perhaps a really long time ago to protect you from feeling anything, perhaps when you've been abused in some way, maybe as a small child. But if you never release that energy, then you're always going to never feel anything on the outside, but be dying on the inside, dying of frustration and pain on the inside. So just have a listen to some of these things that I'm telling you. This can cause the worst cases of fatigue and depression that there are, all right? The energy bands, which is kind of like energy plays, okay? So this is a repetitive pattern. Energy bands are force fields attached to your aura that interfere with your ability to communicate with higher spiritual beings. So these people out there that say, I can't connect. Oh, I can't hear my angels. Oh, I can't see them. Oh, I just can't. No matter how much they've worked on it, or no matter how much they try, or whatever methods that they've used, there's always something that tells them that they can't do it. And so that's what comes out of their mouth all the time. Oh no, I can't do that. Straight away, well, you can't do it, but it also reinforces the energy band, okay? It's like a rubber band sitting in one or more layers of your aura, right? And it's there to squash you, okay? It could also have been placed by the dark energies. Could also have been placed by something you did in a past life that, you wanted to stop yourself. So you created this energy band, etc. And so it interferes with your ability to connect. Can get rid of that as well. Energy cords, as we've already explained, are like the arca cords. They are attachments and bindings to people, places, situations, and things. And they can drain the energy from you physically and mentally. When I was in the East Coast of the United States, and I went over there when I was 13, and I just didn't feel comfortable, right, at all. So New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, Delaware, etc. Those particular states, I felt heavy, I felt depressed, I felt sad, I felt like I was going to die. That's what I felt like. I was afraid of it. And of course my dad's from the East Coast, and it always has been on the East Coast, etc. But I just felt there was something more than just being a teenager in this place that I didn't really want to be. It was deeper than that, right? And it was a cord, or many of them, to my past lives that were there in those areas, in those different states. Because I don't feel it being here in Colorado. I don't feel the I want to die entrapment thing. I actually feel happy and vibrant here. So that's what's meant by those kinds of energy cords. It can be a place that you are, not the person that you're with or whatever. A place, the house, the state, the city. You've been there before. Maybe something happened to you there. Okay. I've just spent many lifetimes in the military, you know, and obviously passed away or fought, you know, and died in all of those different places in one way or another. So the energy cords, you know, as I said, you can't just cut them off. People say, well, I'm just going to cut them off and that's that. You got to dissolve them, because otherwise they're just always looking for something which is pulling your energy away from you. We have to dissolve them and heal them. And sometimes these are things that you can't do yourself. Extraterrestrials energy, okay? So some people have been abducted and really stand firm with the secret space program and stand firm on the things. And I've seen things throughout my life as well, and been a part of a massive healing with regards to the secret space program. But anyway, so these come from negative beings from other planets, universes, galaxies with malicious intent. They're not here for good, those ones, right? They don't engage in the reincarnation cycle of the earth, these ones. They choose candidates. They scan them for specific emotional makeup and patterns, and they attach to them, right? From a distance, doesn't matter. Then they can experience this world through the senses of that person. So any kind of clearing for extraterrestrials is never going to be about in positive ones, because we have many beautiful positive ones that are here with us. For example, the Ashtar Command and the Brotherhood of Light, etc. And your family from the Pleiades or the Syrians, okay? Many of them are extremely positive and will help protect you. Some are negative, and that just goes to show that there are, you know, there's negative energies no matter who you are, right? So they can experience the world through the senses, and they really like it when there's a lack of love, you know, in your life or for yourself, because they just feed on that energy. They actually don't really know how to experience the energy of love as well. It kind of dissolves or dissipates their own personal energy, their own personal power. So if you were to try to, for example, stop an alien kind of attack on you or some kind of thing, you would send love to the situation. That would be your best defense as well. So false beliefs happen when it's based on your perception of things because of these interferences rather than the truth. So you can get into that. Remember, if you suddenly turn against someone who's been nothing but a friend to you and a good person in your life, you're suddenly against them. It's a perception rather than the truth. And that perception has been tainted because of all of these interferences. A force field is a negative vibrational barrier that surrounds people or places. And it buffers access to higher vibrational energies. Again, it's kind of like an energy band, right? It can disrupt the flow from the upper and lower chakras. Fragmented souls are part of your souls that splinter off in different past lifetimes. And so we've talked about that before, where we have to bring all the parts and pieces of ourselves back in, healed, in a healed reality, right? The fragments of your soul can be doing things, etc. We don't want to get too much into that. We'll talk about that at another time. But they splinter off during trauma in this life and in past life trauma, and including death as well. Hexes are thought forms directed to work as a jinx or a curse. It's working to upset somebody else and induce bad luck and negativity. If all of a sudden you're experiencing bad luck everywhere, right? Everywhere. If everything's falling apart, you need a clearing. Again, I would have to specifically work a clearing just for you. So I would need to be able to connect with you to do that, and set it up in the right way to make sure we cover everything as well. Okay. And then you have the highly evolved darker masters. And these are beings who've chosen to serve as testing agents, the agitators, right? To attempt to steer people away from the light, thus allowing people to the ability to remain firm in their faith and in the truth. They screen for the souls whose dedication, wisdom, and insight are not developed enough to allow them to advance to higher spiritual realms. So they're trying to keep you at a lower level of spirituality and awareness, right? Again, it's like that energy of squashing you down. Oh no, you can't get too far ahead. And maybe, you know, when I was a kid, for example, and all this stuff happened to me, etc., I think that they misjudged my sense of strength, of survival, right? And thought, well, you know, we're going to have to stop her from being able to speak later in her life. So we're just going to throw a lot of things to suppress her and make her hate herself, or make her feel like she's less than good enough, so that she'll never push herself forward. And because if she does, there's too many people that are going to be affected by that light energy. There's too many people that are going to get relief, right? So I think they misjudged, and they probably, you know, a lot of this energy with you are misjudging your determination to win. That's what they're misjudging. They just think that they get a lot of people, though, probably 80% of people give right into that energy, okay? But there's other people like us who are not going to give in and who are fighting, okay? And it starts to get less. It starts to get less, this pressure upon you. And especially when you clean it out, the relief is amazing, okay? So the implants, people talk about implants. I'm just going to turn this light on for a second. People talk about implants. Oh, God. Just get it away from me a little bit. There we go. All right, just to have a little bit of light in here. Okay, so implants are energetic plugs that are implanted into the chakras or auras intentionally. Unfortunately, there are some spiritual healers and people out there that really want to plug into your energy, okay? They want to be able to control you somehow. And many people have come forward in my journey, you know, through doing all of this work, that have said that they have been crushed by people who they went to for some kind of whatever spiritual work, and that the person was talking, that the person that they went to see was talking in a very strange way, and was placing, without their knowledge or without their permission, all of what they call these energy hooks, okay? And what it means is, and this may happen to you, if you feel like you need to give, you know, thousands of dollars to someone all the time, or you have done that, and then I know a person who gave $10,000 to somebody who was some kind of, you know, whatever, and they made the person feel like that's what they had to do in order to be safe, okay? If someone's saying to you, you have to give me $1,000 and I will help you or make you feel safe, 1,000 or upwards. I mean, I've had someone that said to me that she paid $600 for an hour with somebody. Now, if that doesn't ring alarm bells in your head, I don't know what will. $600 for an hour with someone and didn't even help, you know. So these are what these implants are, the plugs, making you feel vulnerable, making you feel like you can't do it without this person, all right? Now, it's very different from you feeling like you're obsessing about this other person, okay? But that may come from your aura weaknesses as well. But if you've been to see somebody in person, because that's the only time it can really take hold, is if you see someone in person and you feel very, very bad when you leave there, right? Pay attention. Clear yourself immediately. Because it causes these inner conflicts, all right? Internal struggles concerning your belief, attitudes, desires, abilities, and emotions as well. Keeping you immobilized as to what is the right thing to do. So this comes into your indecision, doesn't it? And these are created thought forms from fear and guilt. What do I do? What's going to be the right thing to do? How many times have you asked yourself, this is for some of you that are listening, you've asked yourself, or you've said to yourself, I don't know what to do right now. I need someone to tell me. I need to get a reading, or I need someone to tell me what I'm thinking is correct, and that's going to validate, what my next step is, right? So if you got someone saying the same thing from 3 or 4 different places, then you'll feel safe enough to move into the next level. It's like you have to know whether you're safe first before you do anything, and you can't know that. So that kind of push-pull thing can really, really mess with you on so many levels, where you just have to trust that whatever decision you make is the right one. Some people can't get to that thing. They're just like, no, it's got to be right because everything's going to fall apart if it's not. Even that's an energy play, okay? So the inner shadow is a negative energy outside of your body, and it slides in between the person and their higher self to block information of a spiritual nature. And it discourages you from meditation, okay? The inner shadow. How do you feel about that one? You probably had that happen to you. You don't feel like meditating. You don't feel like connecting. And it slides between you and your higher self to stop you from receiving knowledge. And the way that you can tell whether that's happening is also when you start giving up. Oh, well, it's just not going to happen. Oh, well, all this positive stuff, etc., doesn't really work, right? When you start talking that way, that inner shadow has stepped across you, trying to block your way forward. Just pay attention to these things. Maybe take notes or whatever you're doing, because then you're going to be able to recognize your patterning, that it hasn't even been your fault, okay? Stuff that's happened that hasn't been your fault. And when you can recognize that, you can start getting away from it very quickly. So the inner shadow can cause the interference with your thoughts, mental turbulence, killer psychic energies are there as well. They're negative energies that are directed by negative forces toward anyone who contemplates raising their consciousness, right? It's like it's going to try to stop you. This happened to me in the beginning of my journey. It was like, who's going to listen to you? Who's going to want to watch you? Who's going to understand what you're saying? How are you going to teach these people? All these reasons why not, right? And then your inner doubt goes, oh yeah, God, what are people going to think of me? And, what about my face? And what about my hair? And what about this? And what about, whatever. It's all, you just got to recognize these interferences that are either sent in your direction or you're picking them up somehow. So this can go on and on and on, what I'm talking about here. There's, these high level stuff and overshadows, which is, so we had the inner shadow, which sort of steps and tries to stop you. The overshadow stops you from connecting with all that is, right? Source energy. There's past life bindings. There's residents, which is their type of, so residents are, they're discarnate souls, okay? It's people who've passed over, and they energetically attach themselves inside one of your layers of the aura. So they zap your strength. That's the first thing you're going to feel. If you're feeling drained all of a sudden, fatigued all of a sudden, You need to clear yourself immediately, okay? And they can distort your mental perspective. Some people have lived with this kind of thing with residents, sub-personalities, the energies of going in and out, connections to your banding and suppression to your abilities, voices, dark, whatever it is, has been around some of you for your whole life, okay? I can guarantee it. And some spells, there's some self-inflicted things that, you know, obviously we make it worse for ourselves as well. Sub-personalities, so they're aspects of ourselves that have fragmented, okay, to keep our whole self from others. Usually that happens from a severe amount of trauma. And what can happen with trauma is that you can energetically lift yourself up like you're jumping on a trampoline. Now your physical body lands on the trampoline and keeps on jumping, but your energetic body stays up and away from your physical body, okay? And it doesn't want to get back in there because of the trauma. So you've heard of people saying, if I was going through some kind of abuse and I just pretended that I wasn't there. They're not really pretending. They've actually pulled their essence away from their physical body. And some people have a very hard time grounding it back in because that was a safety measure. Oh, well, I'm just going to go over here. And maybe for the rest of their life, they didn't look at things that were traumatic because they're so used to jumping up and away from it. Okay, so this can be something that kids do as well as, you know, children that have got the deficit disorder, etc. Even Downs syndromes, the children, their energy is always in spirit. That's where they are. That's where it's fun. That's where they're safe. That's where they're protected and understood. They can speak without words. They want to stay in the spiritual realms. So their essence of who they are is there. And as parents, you know, you can learn to pull their energy back into their physicality, but the look they're going to give you is, how did you know? How did you know how to do that? They're going to be very freaked out, but it will help them to stay that much calmer. They can go out into that spiritual energy anytime they want, but they have to be able to get themselves back in. It's not good for you to be out all the time because when you are, this is when you're vulnerable to a lot of attack on those levels, okay? So, yeah. Another thing here is about witches as well. I'm not just talking about people who study Wicca or who do white energy or lighting or positive energy. These are people that are negatively trying their best to influence you or take away your free will. And they're used by individuals to manipulate other people for their self-interest, okay, and gratification. So they're trying to make their egos bigger by using dark forces to try to control or manipulate somebody else. Now, all of those things that I'm talking about, okay, is not something that I often talk about either. But it was a very, very interesting situation. When I'm going through a lot of my own healing or I'm coming up with something to teach you guys and I'm connecting in and I'm reading a lot of books and I'm getting connected back into my energy, what can happen to me is I'll suddenly, my husband will attest to this, I suddenly come up, have some kind of epiphany. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's it. This is what's happening to people. And that epiphany leads to writing, which leads to, you know, some sort of message to you all. Like obviously I'm making a video today talking about this because it's so important. And the reason that it's important right now is because of the worldwide events that I'm not allowed to speak about on YouTube. But let's just say the psychological abuse that everybody in this entire world has gone through over the last 12 months. Or even just more. The reason why this is so important is because what it's done is it's caused your vulnerabilities or your energy within yourself to be exposed. And it's on the surface and it's raw. And when that's happening, right? When you're feeling like you can't control a situation, when you're feeling less than good enough, when you're feeling abused, when you're feeling traumatized, when your feet can't take you somewhere because there's no travel, when you can't digest literally a situation that's going on within you, it leads to these interferences that may have already been there. It leads to those getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the plot from the dark energies is to stop us from expanding, growing, and connecting with each other, right? By understanding how to do it. They want to stop you from understanding how to do it, because if you know how to do things, right, nothing can get to you ever. No government or hierarchy of darkness or a band of people or family members can ever bring you back into that vulnerable energy again unless you let them. And believe me, the powers that be, the darkness that's on this earth and beyond, knows what you're capable of, even if you do not. Okay? So if you understand that the things that have happened throughout your life have created a weakness in your auric field, which has allowed certain things to develop over time and try to block you and stop you from your meditation, stop you from people that are good for you, stop you from going in the right direction in your life, making you feel like crap, making you feel sick, making you feel weak, making you feel used and abused and guilty and fearful and shameful and blaming yourself. If you understand that we as a people, if we keep on damaging ourselves like this, right, we're never going to get to where we want to really be. And that's what they want us to do. They want us to stop that. They want us to stop connecting. They want us to stop being strong. They want us to not know how powerful you really are. Because if you did, then you don't need anything, right? If you knew how powerful you were, what would you really need in life? If you could just manifest anything like this, which you actually can, and if you can manifest these things like this, and you can manifest finances, you can manifest a place to be, you can manifest your family all connected, you can manifest a great business, you can manifest a great life, you can manifest the right people in your life. If you can do all of those, how can they control you? That's why I keep saying to you guys, empowerment of yourself is key. Less of the distraction of everything and everybody else, and more of the empowerment of yourself, where you're going, where you're headed, noticing these patterns that come in every now and then and pushing them away, clearing them out, fixing them, remembering that you can do this. My journey has been about helping others, okay? It's gonna always be that way. And there's intricacies here of all of these things that I'm telling you about. So if you want to go into deeper therapy sessions, spiritual lessons, past life therapies, any of those things, do yourself a favor and connect with me over a series of calls. And we will get to the bottom. You will just not need me anymore. And that's what I want you to be able to do. Go on your own, figuring it out, the freedom that you get from that. Many people who've had connections with me and have done just that are like, oh my God, I get it. Oh, I see it. Oh, I can see it in other people too. And I'm like, well, don't get yourself all connected with other people. Just do you. And if we can do that, right, we are free, okay? And you're already free, you just don't realize it. But take a look at all of those things that we were talking about today. And of course, I'm going to create this into a bigger course of understanding. I just wanted to make today's, I didn't even know what I was doing today. All right, it was just, this is the first day in 12 days that you're going to see me live, right? And and connected on all these other platforms as well. And please share, please get this out there. Please get this message out there. That's the only thing I need you guys to do, really. But if you can understand where there may be these vibrational negative influences, there may be these connections and cords and bindings, etc., to others in your life, where there may be manipulations and thought in your thoughts and how you feel and what you've always done in your life and how you've reacted to things and how you've changed things and how you've grown and how you've shifted out of things, and how people who are extremely, narcissistic and manipulative will know how your emotions work, right? And try to control them. So for example, if they don't get the same response from you because you're growing away from something, if they don't get you to argue with them, or if they don't get you to fight with them, they're gonna be like, well, what's going on with this person, right? And they'll try something else. Oh, well, maybe I can get to them emotionally then. Make them feel bad. That's what I'm gonna do. The next time I'm on the phone with them, I'm gonna make them feel bad. Even if they don't tell me, I know it's going to hurt them. There are people out there that do that. Stick something in every now and then. You know, they've just got to stick it to you every now and then because they want to get you to be vulnerable. There are agitators in this world, right? There are agitators in this world, worldwide, that are placed specifically on the earth to agitate you. To stir things up, to try to block you, okay? There are actually people like that. Most of them are connected to us on a very close level. Sadly, for many of us, it's our family members, it's our mothers, it's our fathers, it's our family members, brothers and sisters. Sometimes it's people who, for the very reason they love you, right? They end up being jealous and hateful of you because they've got a vulnerability. They've got a lowering of their energy. They've got people slipping in and out of their auric field. They've got cords they haven't dealt with. Okay? So if you can do and really assess yourself like this, understanding that the negative energy will try to tell you that it's all your fault. The negative energy will say, well, you're feeling that way, so, you know, you're going through this, so that's your fault as well. Don't listen to it. Okay? You'll say, no, it's got nothing to do with me personally, right? Boom, stop. You have to stop that chatter and understand when you're going through something, if you don't get it out to the surface, it will fester. What happens when something festers, right? It gets extremely painful when it's festering. It gets extremely painful until what happens? The pressure is relieved by it popping. Okay? So if you're letting something fester emotionally in your life, okay, it's going to show up as an infection, as a sore, as a issue with your bones, as something going on with your joints, as something going on digestively, as bad headaches, as, you know, sinus stuff, right, etc., that we talked about. So if you're letting something fester, in other words, you haven't admitted that something has driven you crazy, that someone has upset you, that the thing that happened over there was something that you didn't like. If you sit on it saying to yourself, oh, I've got this, I can control this, right? Oh, it's okay, I'm just going to suck it up. If you do that to yourself, right, you're not only are you eventually going to pop or explode, but it's going to be 1,000 times worse than it would have been if you'd said something in the beginning, if you'd acknowledged it in the beginning, without thinking to yourself, I have to hide how I feel, because if I say how I feel, who really cares anyway? What's it really going to change? You know, blah, blah, blah. Whatever excuse you give yourself to shut down as your survival tactic that you might have had as a kid. Not say anything. I'm not going to break the peace. I'm not going to upset everybody by telling them how I feel. That's a load of crap. And those things, and we've all been through it. We've all, suppressed our feelings or haven't said anything, right? And we've all kept quiet, and we've all not told on somebody. And we haven't gone and told the teacher when someone's done something naughty in class. We've just kept it to ourselves. The code, especially in Australia, is you don't rat on your mates. You don't dog on them. That's what they say. You don't dog on people. So to speak up about feelings is like girlish. It's silly, and that is a silly culture, because that leads us all into feeling like we don't know how to express ourselves other than just keep going and be strong. Having true strength is acknowledging the things that have happened to you and see when they are repeating elsewhere in other ways in disguise in your life, right? And noticing these things as not being your fault, but as being placed in your life as a marker for you to understand that only when you change the way you react to that situation will your situation change, and you don't have to deal with it again. Okay? So it's not about you beating yourself up, any of this stuff. It's about you recognizing this has not been your fault. All right? But now that you understand how it all works, it's your responsibility to take care of it. Because if you don't, and there are some people out there who want to be unwell. I'm totally aware of that kind of energy also. Because they might lose their benefits, or they might lose people around them that they care about. That's a mental illness. If you've got to stay unwell in order to be loved or feel that you're loved and supported, there's something big going on there. Could be fixed by all of these things that we're talking about as well. Okay? But sometimes those people don't get to that level unless it's life and death, sadly. Right? And part of that is their journey, of course. Everybody's got their journey to deal with in their own way. So what I wanted to do here was just illustrate, I guess, the energy plays, and that's what I'm calling it, that have occurred in your life from time to time. How you don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be fitting any kind of mold on your journey. That you understand that your spiritual energy and journey is yours, okay? But if you can be aware of some of these things that I'm talking about, then you're going to understand how your reaction affects you, and it only hurts you. And if you continually hurt yourself, then there's another issue of why. Why do you feel like you need to get rid of yourself? Okay, that's even deeper. And that could also be an energy play that's come from, again, your upbringing or people in your life that made you feel you need to get out of the way. Now, your belief in needing to get out of the way is what needs to change. Your belief in being less than good enough needs to change. Your belief in not being able to connect with spirit needs to change. Your belief that everyone's against you needs to change. Your belief that you need to be looking a certain way in order to be popular, in order to do anything, needs to change. Your belief in how you look in itself, if it's negative, needs to change. The words that you're saying about yourself, the justification that you have about issues that come up in your life, why you feel like you need to explain to everybody why you do what you do, that needs to change as well. And here are all of the ways in which it can. And it's a decree. If words are powerful, if words create, they can also destroy. And, ancient history knows that. They know all of those things. It hasn't gone anywhere, even if we have evolved and changed, etc. So with using our words, we're going to just close off this session today. And if there is something that you have really hit home for you, what I've talked about, even though this is a brief kind of talk about it, if there is something, I want you to just hold that thought in the front of your body as we call in the different protecting energies, the angels, of course, to rebuke it and clear it out, okay? So I'm going to make this quite general as I'm doing this. Remember, if you need specific guidance, help, and support, you know, I do offer very, very cheap services for what you're going to get. As I said, some people will charge you $1,000 an hour, $600 an hour, whatever. You're not going to get that, you know, with me. I'm going to work with you to do it, but you have to do the work as well. You know, that's what it's all about. Here's what we got to do. This is your part in it. And if you can do that, you don't ever need me again, unless you want to get a reading or something one day. But you don't need me for the big things because you can figure it out. And that's awesome. If you know somebody that has issues or problems or whatever, it's not your place. It's not your place to get them help or whatever. You can tell them about me. It's up to them to decide whether they connect with me. Because many times I've had people who say, oh, come and talk to Becky. And the person's just like, what the hell? You know, I don't know what this is. And I don't want to force anybody to connect with me or whatever. So, you know, as much as I appreciate what you're trying to do, oh God, this really helped me, it may help you. Everybody needs to come forward and connect with me personally themselves. Yeah. All right. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. Okay. Let's get rid of some of these energy plays and put it to the front of your mind. I just want to say quickly that, you know, readings, etc. are coming. We'll be doing readings on these live shows as well. But sometimes I'm just going to get something that I need to tell you about, which is kind of what happened today. And patrons, etc., you guys know by now, you get a lot of discounts and meditations and work to do, webinars, all of that stuff. So I do encourage you to be a patron as well, because you're going to get a lot of discounts on things and more personalized connection with me as well. All right, so let's get on to clearing this energy a little bit. All right, so all I need you to do is just close your eyes for a moment. Okay, let's get the right page. Okay. Okay, so just close your eyes, and as I said, let's just keep a connection with balancing and renouncing of any of these things, rebuking of these things as well. I just want to find the right page in my book, because I need to do this carefully, of course, and we want to do everything that is in your highest good. Let me find this. Oh, won't be a second. Okay. All right. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring in some different levels of healing, okay, in this connection here, so that anything that you have that resonated with you as I was talking, okay, or maybe just putting yourself open to, if there's anything there that I don't need, I'm willing to get rid of it, kind of thing. All right. So we're going to call on the legions of light, etc., and get rid of anything that we've intentionally or unintentionally brought into our life from this life or others. So close your eyes. Okay. I come in light and love to my higher self and guardian angels, also my spiritual clearing team, for guidance, and I ask that only the truth come through. I give myself and my higher self permission to access information from wherever it may come. I know I am protected in the energy of divinity and light. And I call forth, again, my spiritual light team, my I am presence, my Mother, Father, God energy, Mother Mary, Lord Jesus Christ, Kuan Yin, the legions of light, Master Hilarion and Saint Germain, Master Serapis Bey, and all gods and goddesses that work with me from the light. The White Brotherhood, the Angels of Violet Fire, the Planetary Commission, and the Cosmic Physicians. We call upon all of the angels and archangels in the front, to the right, behind us, and to the left of us. And we call upon the energies and divas of healing as well. We ask that a bubble be placed around us and that blue light stream through and immerse the entire bubble, forming a brand new grid on the interior of the bubble. And we command that gold light stream through the bubble, continuing to form the grid. And we command that pink light stream through and immerse the entire space. We command that violet light fill the bubble, transmuting all negative energy, and all remnants of this energy be sent to the light now. We command that all energy that is no longer for the highest good be released and sent to the light now, and command that only those energies that are for the highest good be allowed to exist within this bubble from this point forward. Love, joy, peace, clarity, harmony, wisdom, trust, creativity, abundance, perfect health, humility, faith, as well as every other divine quality that is for the highest good radiate permanently from this grid throughout the entire bubble. And I command that only beings of light may change these commands to bring even greater good. I call upon the cosmic physicians to bring forward healing and energy now, restructuring my DNA as needed, and helping me to fulfill my divine path in divine time. I ask for healing of any body parts or systems or conditionings, and to repair whatever needs to be repaired. And I ask for the angels of healing to assist with any healing that is appropriate for me at my soul level. I ask for protection, a golden healing protection to be extended all the way around my higher self and protecting that connection. I ask for chakra healing, for activation, for cleansing, for clearing, and expansion of each chakra. Asking for white light to be spun into each chakra, and then the correct energy ray anchored to each. I'm asking for the cosmic physician to remove debris and patterns from the lower bodies and the levels of the aura, repairing any holes or weaknesses, and for white light to be spun into any places where removal of negativity occurred. I ask and command removal of all cords, attachments, connections, bindings, psychic bondings, and conduits. I command removal of any connection that would ever have them return again. And I call upon the cosmic physicians to totally remove any remnants or residue caused by them, and to repair damage done to all of my chakras or my auric field. I call upon the law of forgiveness. I release myself of all judgment of self. I release myself of all judgment of others. I claim grace. I ask for consequences of all of my mistakes to be undone. I now call upon the ascended masters, and Saint Germain to direct the transmuting violet flame toward any remaining negativity and transmute it all into pure light and unconditional love. I command and release any removal of all and any implants in my chakras or aura, bondage or attachments, programming or manipulations, or any energy interferences from this life or other past lives. And I place myself in the shield of universal protection of blue, gold, and pink light surrounded by violet fire. And I ask that this is done in all directions of time and space, through all parts and pieces of who I am as a soul immediately. So be it, so be it, so be it. And with love and light, it is done. Okay, everybody. So, just a second. All right. So, everybody, I hope that this was a very helpful talk with you guys. I want to thank you all for listening, of course. And I'm going to be here for 12 days in a row. You're welcome, Linda. So who knows what we're coming up with on these days. And sometimes, you know, my husband may be here with me as well. We'll also have our live spin the wheel shows, of course, because Mother's Day is coming up. We just realized Mother's Day is coming up. So we have some mystery stuff for you all as well. You're welcome. So it's good to know that we have the ability to actually work through quite a lot of different layers of ourselves as a soul. And thank you. Yeah, exactly. And I thank each and every one of you for being here and being a part of this. I do ask that you just share if you can. Share this knowledge and share this information with as many people as you can to help, of course. And I will be back soon with some videos as well. In the meantime, I'll do other videos on readings and all that sort of stuff. I hope that you will enjoy my new courses. There are 2 of them available now. So I will put the links to the courses that you can find. And if you are a patron, you also get discounts as well on the courses. And until the next time, lots of love and many, many blessings on your journey. Hope you feel better and understood. And bye for now. Bye, everyone. Thank you to G, obviously, and my husband for helping also. And thanks a lot for sharing this and getting this message out to as many people as we can. Okay. Lots of love and bye for now. Bye.